Well, everybody, it's time once more for the exercise in futility, humility, and defeat that is Survivor Fantasy. Welcome back to Survivor Analytics. It is time for our fantasy draft for Survivor 49, the last season before the one everybody on Earth cares about. But that's okay because we've got a great cast full of people with names that begin with S. And with me, not only the true expert, but all of the true experts, the entire Survivor Analytics Fantasy League. How should we do introductions, Clyde?
We could do it anyway. I'm pretty flexible on it. What's up, party people? We're back. If you've been following this for a while, it's the same crew that's been doing the fantasy league every time. I guess we can just do the introductions through the draft order. Abbey is our reigning champion. She
I
won
like that.
last season, and we need to give her props because with the first overall pick in that fantasy draft, she took Kyle. So I think it's the first time in the history of our league where someone sniped the winner with the first overall pick. And I don't know if the winner's ever been taken in the first round at all. So it's a major step in the right direction because I looked back at some of our old drafts and some of them have been pretty brutal in terms of actually finding the winner. I think it's happened multiple times where the winner of the season was taken in the third round. So, Abby, the floor is yours. This is your chance to gloat and also announce the order for this year's draft.
Yes, I finally won after picking the winner for the third time. I picked the winner for season 45 and 47, but I did not win because, points. But I finally won. It's fantastic. It's great to win, and I could pick the draft order. And I'll give a reason for each pick. So for going first is Alexis because she let me go first last time. Going second is Kerry because Kerry, I want you to do well. Going third is me. I didn't do much prep, so I don't think I deserve like a higher place. Third is pretty middle. Fourth is Clyde. Clyde, you haven't gone fourth yet, so there you go. Tony and Olivia, you guys are going fifth. You have been in every single place in the draft except for fifth, so it's only fair that it's now time for you to go fifth. And Jack, you are going last, which is your rightful place. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love this distribution. I think that's completely fair. And as long as my guy with the dreadlocks falls to sixth, then I have no problems with this draft order.
For the record, I think Jack has drafted six before, but I agree with your reasoning, so I'm all in favor of it.
No. I belong at the bottom.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I know he's gone last, and that's where he belongs, so that's why he's
yeah,
there again.
yeah.
Okay, I'll set the order. We can start the draft. Alexis, no camera needed, but she has the opportunity to snipe the winner with the first overall pick. So the draft
Absolutely.
is
Oh, it
set.
started.
Alexis, the floor is yours.
All right, well, I'm going to do my best to pick the winner, and I think that I could actually do it, so I'm picking Savannah. I really liked her, specifically, and I don't remember if it was her video. I think it was her video. She said that she will sow seeds of paranoia even with her allies, and I love a villain, so I would love to see that happen. I think she'll be fun. She's on Survivor 50, so I feel like that means she did well. And I don't know if the tribes for Survivor 50 were rumored or not, or if they're actually confirmed. I don't remember, but it felt like there was a winner on each tribe and there was no winner on her tribe, so I think that she probably wins. So I'm gonna go with that.
Wait, so she is already confirmed to be a returning player?
I think it's rumored technically. Still, I'm not sure. Clyde, do you know?
Yeah, so this kind of exposes me a little bit. I went into this thinking that maybe this is really confident on my end. I thought I had built a rapport with Abby to the point where I could get the first overall pick. That way I could snipe Savannah with the number one overall. And I had this whole monologue ready on how in Survivor it's this whole game of like doing the ethical thing versus just playing to win and picking Savannah because we know she's on 50. Obviously it didn't work out that way. She is rumored to be on, and I think Alexis is correct in that the other two tribes each have a winner. So you got Kyle on one of the tribes, D on the other. So a lot of people suspect that Savannah wins this season. So I was going to take her number one overall as well. I like the pick. I would have made the same move.
Was also going to make the same move. I don't think I remembered she was rumored to be on season 50. I think I just liked her video that I just finished watching before this. And yeah, I liked how she was like, "Oh, I want to sow paranoia." I thought that was fun. I did some prep, not a lot. I'm just kind of winging it this year. I think for my first pick, I'm going to take Jake because one, he's Canadian, played hockey, so I think he'll be kind of athletic. And in his video, he said his dad has glaucoma, and this is going to be the last season of Survivor that he watches, and that made me sad. Yeah, I'm taking Jake for my first pick.
Kerry, I really liked Jake as well. I liked that he identifies with Joe, which feels like a great excuse.
I didn't catch that, but I also drafted Joe, so
that's beautiful.
I guess I have a type.
He works with Spo, which is a fun little Villanova throwback. He is a correctional officer, which I think means he works with people in prison or at least in jail, right? And so he describes himself as a teddy bear, but there's got to be an edge to this guy. Like, he's probably been in a prison riot. And so I like what that will translate to for Survivor challenges.
So he said that his wife is pregnant and will give birth while he's in Fiji. And as someone who recently just had a baby, I would kill my husband if he did that. So I know she gave the okay, but like, what the hell?
Didn't realize that. I thought she was just gonna be pregnant. I didn't catch she's actually giving birth while he's there.
Like, do you think production will tell him? Like, if he has a kid while he's on the island,
no.
Do you think production will actually let him know?
If production interrupts this season to tell him, I'm going to lose my mind.
I
will be furious.
Yeah.
I hope he asks them to not tell him.
Will it be like the fair play grandma thing, except like your wife had a baby, so now we're all gonna be nice to you? Like, he's gonna lie about it.
Top stories on the little banner on the Entertainment Weekly summary of the season is Survivor 49 player missed birth of firstborn child during filming.
I just saw that.
Oh.
It's him.
Yeah, this is a red flag. Hold on. Yeah, I'm down on this guy all of a sudden. This is no good.
No,
also, I feel like we can't skip the part where he was like Magic Mike for many years.
This guy, oh my god.
I was waiting for someone to bring that up.
What?
Jack said he was a correctional officer. I thought he was a stripper the whole time. I didn't know.
Wait. I didn't watch the video. He was a stripper?
I think I blocked that from my mind.
I think in Australia.
I love the lore we built around this guy.
Yeah, he said he played professional ice hockey in Australia, too. That's why he went there. He was an interesting character, which was funny because when I was reading his bio, I was like, boo, he wants to set an example that nice people can finish first, and like he likes Joe, and I was like, boo, no fun. And then I watched the video, and I was like, Magic Mike, what's going on?
All right, just to don my geography critic hat here, A, playing professional hockey in Australia is not a flex. B, he was born in Saskatchewan, and now he lives in Alberta. So he went to Australia and ended up in the Canadian equivalent of Iowa. I don't know if he has the best
nothing
judgment.
to me.
This is Bruce all over again, so critical of all the hometowns.
Exactly.
He moved further than Bruce did, so you got to give him a little bit of slack.
I mean, here's the thing, though. He went so far. He went to a different continent on a different hemisphere, and he came back to the middle of Canada.
He's a hometown hero, Jack. He returned.
He returned with his tearaway pants and his hockey skates that presumably were dinged up by skating over a kangaroo. Yeah.
And his Magic Mike 8-pack, the whole 9 yards. Do you guys think he'll play like Joe? He compares himself to Joe, but I don't know if I see a lot of Joe in him.
I hope not.
I hope
he
not
wants,
too.
I think he wants to in an ideal world, but I don't know if they're actually alike enough now that I'm reading his bio.
Okay.
But you know what I do think? At some point, this guy's taking his shirt off, and they're going to do a Magic Mike-esque edit of him.
I'll get fantasy points for that.
You would. You totally would.
Yeah. Who's third?
Me. Okay. So, like I said, I did not do a lot of prep. Alexis did all my prep for me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, I just numbered everyone, and we're just going to go with it. Okay, so I'm going to pick Sophie. And
Which one?
Wondering which one. That's right. Because there's two. Sophie from the Blue Tribe. Don't tell me there's two on one tribe. Okay, yeah,
Sophie
from the Blue
Bellerde.
Tribe. Okay, I drafted her. Okay, she said she owns 3 businesses with 10 employees, and they're all men who are older than her. So she has to like boss men around, and I can kind of relate because I do that at my job. And her pet peeve I can also get with men with Peter Pan syndrome. Get off the dating apps and stop terrorizing my beautiful single friends. I think that's funny. And yeah, and out of everyone else on her tribe, she seems the least crazy. I'm going with Sophie.
I think she said in one of her interviews that she wants to align with one of the Meat Boys on the cast. So it's poetic that Jake and Sophie went back to back. They're on the same tribe. I would not be surprised if they work together.
Yeah.
Is she the one that said like Jeff was hot, or her family member was like, bring back Jeff? Is that this Sophie?
Her grandma said, don't worry about the money, just bring home Jeff.
Also, what is Peter Pan syndrome? I've never heard of this before. What is that?
Oh, Clyde,
Like
come
you're
on,
used to
man.
I've never heard of that.
Do you know about Peter Pan?
I know the character Peter Pan, but that's
like
about
the boy
it.
who never grew up.
Oh, okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just that they're immature.
It's like,
okay.
So like Clyde, for example, it would be somebody who like in their mid-20s has board games in their background and hosts a podcast about a game show. No, I feel like it's probably guys in their 30s who still play Call of Duty. Awesome. Who's next?
Next up is me. The number 1 player on my board got taken. I was going to take Savannah. And I feel like Savannah would have been the pick I would have made with my head because I think she's going to win. So with Savannah off the board, I'm going to roll with my heart, the player who I want to win. Give me the legend, R-I-Z-G-O-D. I want Riz God. I want Rizzo. I think he is such a ridiculous character. I'm going to have so much fun with him on my team. He comes from a sports commentary background, so I feel like he's built to take up a lot of confessional time where he'll get me a lot of fantasy points. It's similar to Sam in 47, where even though Sam didn't have any real control in the game, they kept showing you a lot of Sam content because he would just serve as the narrator for what was going on that tribe. For me, okay, this is kind of related, but not really. I think the season that I enjoyed watching the most from a fantasy perspective was 47 because I thought Andy was such a ridiculous character and I enjoyed having him on my team because he was someone that I was going to root for even if he wasn't on my fantasy roster. And I feel the same way about Rizzo. I think he's an off-the-wall kind of guy. I watched one of his preseason interviews with some other podcasting network, and he knows his Survivor like super well. This is someone that has studied the game a lot before going out there. And I don't necessarily think you need to know the history of the show to perform well on it. I picked Brandon on 45, the guy who fell off the ladder and was voted out in like the 2nd episode of the season. So sometimes your Survivor knowledge can work against you, but I don't think that will be the case for Rizzo. I'm happy to have him on my team. And he's coming back on Survivor 50. So there's a good chance I might inherit him for that season as well.
This guy is parallel universe Clyde. We can all agree on that, right? Like, Clyde is Armenian. This guy's Albanian. Long-suffering New York sports team fans. This guy's absolutely a Knicks fan. Knows the entire soundtrack to High School Musical and Camp Rock. Like, he's Survivor knowledge. This guy is Clyde. I feel like someday, Clyde, at a meetup, you need to do like the Spider-Man meme with this guy. But can somebody who has seen more Survivor than me explain at a high level, without spoiling, I guess, who JT from Tocantins is?
Token jeans.
What? That is not how that word is pronounced.
Say
it again?
No.
What is it? It's not Tocantins?
No. Token jeans.
Okay, but so who's JT?
I think he's revered probably as one of the old school, one of the best like social players. Everyone just like really likes him, and that's all I can say without spoiling it.
Personality higher, sort of like is there
hero,
a new era comp?
Like a hero, not a villain, country boy vibes. Yeah, just like nice, genuine person.
Token Cheens?
You guys should watch that one soon. That's a good one.
That's ridiculous. That is not a real word. It's not even on a beach. It's a landlocked state of Brazil.
Well, we watched China, and China wasn't on a beach. It was by like a lake.
That's a good point. Never mind. My outrage is manufactured. Moving on. Anyone else have anything to say about Rizzo?
I'm honestly kind of glad that Clyde took him because it pains me that he's on 50 because I feel like I would have had to take him if he came back around, and I don't know that I can get down with Rizgod personally.
What? Come on! Do you think he'll ask the rest of the tribe to call him Rizgod on day one?
Please.
I hope so.
I hope so. Did he call himself that in the video?
That's how he opened his video.
Amazing.
Well, he says he has everyday people call him Rizzo, but his friends and family call him the man, the myth, the legend, Rizgod.
So when he makes it to Final Tribal, he'll introduce himself as Rizgod because everyone will really be his friends and family.
And that's why he loses.
I hope
that'll
he lives up to the hype that he's built for himself. That's all I'll say.
Okay, I'm good for the next pick.
Here we go. The most successful team in franchise history, league history. Team Olivia with the 5th pick. They're on mute.
Not anymore. All right, with the 5th pick in the draft, we've decided to take Shannon Fairweather. Well, first of all, it's just a cool name, Fairweather. That's, there's Johnny Fairplay, Fairweather. Maybe it'll be a good omen. Yeah, we really just grasping at straws here. But
the more we read,
I think as we started reading her bio, there's a lot of things in there that we liked. I think she has a chance to be very personable, and I think that it seems like she'll be super into the idea of Survivor as a growth journey, which is really what Survivor is all about, it seems nowadays. I think maybe it may be a little bit much. Like, she really seems into the
divine nature of the game.
But I'm hoping that she'll bond with the members of her tribe. I think that seems like there's a good chance that it could happen, especially if, from what others were saying, Savannah may be one to go very far. Maybe she makes a good alliance with her and sticks with her. That's pretty much what we're going to go with. Olivia, did you want to add anything?
So the only other things I'd like to add, one is I'm just envisioning her like as coach in all those yoga montages from back in the day. So in the past, if you remember, we picked, I think her name was Hannah, right? In which we weren't aware that she just stopped smoking. And so I don't necessarily think that her name's Shannon, right? I don't think she necessarily maybe has a nicotine dependence right now. She might be on other mind-altering substances or not. So hopefully being on the island, like without, like just by herself, like hopefully this is really true to her. Really, I think we're making improvements from some of our last picks, and I just can't wait to see where this journey takes us.
I do have to read a little bit from her interview. I remember being in the womb.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Like, I don't, right? So that's pretty awesome.
That's situational awareness.
But wouldn't you be a little afraid to vote out someone who remembers being in the womb?
I'd be afraid to talk to somebody who said that to me. Yeah.
Well, I gotta ask, like, this is the dilemma every year with the Olivia fantasy team. You guys claim to make every decision as a pair. I still don't believe it, so I want to know who was the leader of the Shannon pick.
Who claims her?
Yeah, who claims the Shannon selection?
Okay, no. I claimed her off of just a picture when you guys were talking about who you thought was going to do well. So we were just looking at, like, well, of the tribe, who might this person become friends with? And so I was like, oh, maybe her. And then we started reading, and Tony was like, I really don't think I'm going to enjoy this. And I'm like, great, let's like bail. And he goes, we have to do it. We just had to double down.
I think if anything, she'll be great TV. Like, I think she'll be very fun to watch. I think she'll be good for your fantasy team.
We're like obviously not good at figuring out who's gonna win. So why should we try? Like, this is fun. And maybe this is our winning strategy.
I felt like I was having a stroke reading her bio. I don't know why it started out with 3 words to describe you, and she names like 13 words. And one of the words is I make things happen.
I do think I found her virtual community. I will say this: when you Google her vibes and you look on Instagram, the first one is something very different. So explore with caution. Does anyone know what the acronym GNO stands for? I can't figure it out, and
Girls
it's all
Night
over.
Out.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like some like genetically modified organism thing.
Or mind-altering substance.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a really wholesome community that she runs. Like it's just like a fun Instagram thing. So I don't really have anything critical to say there. As I was a little worried GNO was going to be something weird, but Girls Night Out is cool. Okay.
I was going to say, I feel like if the bar for a player is not addicted to nicotine, then you might be looking in the wrong place. I think if I were to rank this cast based on most to least likely addicted to cigarettes, like Shannon might be more towards the top. To be completely honest.
It's not cigarettes. It's definitely a vape. It's absolutely a vape.
Well, that was the same situation with Hannah. I think Hannah was addicted to her vape.
I also appreciate that she has to mention how many floors the sports bar is every time she mentions it. It's 4 floors. I hope she's a good character. I like this one for you guys, Tony and Olivia, because at the end of the day, confessionals count for points, right? Like, you want somebody who's a good character. You don't need necessarily a ton of win equity, as evidenced by Abby's first 2 winner picks not getting her the win, right?
I'll just admit before you go that I did my rankings. I did 1 through 18, not based on like fantasy points, but more so how likely they are to win the season. I had Shannon at 18. I
also
at
have
the
Shannon.
very bottom.
I have Shannon at 18 too.
There was a
and
moment.
I really hated my number 17. So my number 17, I was like, oh, like that's 18. And then I read Shannon's bio and I was like, nope.
So whenever we get to that 17, please let us know, Alexis.
I will let
Don't
you know.
tell us now, but I can't wait for that.
There was a moment in her video interview where she said, sometimes people tell me that the world doesn't revolve around me, but it does because I create my own reality. Like, that is really concerning going into a voting-based game. I don't think Shannon's going to work that well with other people. The only bright sides I see with her is that she's really into astrology, and there's a couple other people on this cast that also really like astrology. And there's a couple Zen people in Survivor history who have won the whole thing. Like, Jack and I just covered Aris on Survivor Panama, who was a yoga instructor, but his actual personality was not the most Zen. So,
can I admit, if you had asked me 5 minutes ago who won the season we just covered, I couldn't have told you.
You already forgot? Are you serious? It's been like a week.
Honestly, after the Air Force guy got voted out.
Yeah. You forgot it.
You
forgot Terry?
Terry! Oh, no. Well, that's not a good sign for my memory. Okay.
Somebody call the ambulance.
Oh, yep.
All right. Am I up?
To Olivia, you guys have to make the pick on the app. And then, Jack, you're all good to go.
Yeah, lock it in. Here's why I love being in the 6th place. And please, whoever wins this season, forget I said this so that I don't have to be 6th back-to-back years. But the nice thing is, because this is a snake draft, I really only have to pick 2 people, and then I get whoever is left. The hard part is I have 3 people I would like to pick. And I think I'm going to have to go with the clearest threat first, which I think is, as I vamp for time for a second and scroll, I'm going to go with Christina. Nobody is shaking their heads in horror. I'm going to click draft, lock her in. All right. I'm going with Christina because she's living in Edmond, Oklahoma. That's not too far from Tulsa. She's a career coach, which means personality, right? She's going to be a great social player day one. That seems really clear to me. That's great. She mentions Mamba mentality. You know what? She's the mom of Irish twins. I'm an Irish twin. 3 for 3. Biggest red flag, she thinks she'll play most like Carson. That's not a good sign for me because, as we all know, I hate Carson. But she also compares herself to Rachel, and I love Rachel. So, 50-50. But, yeah, I'm going with Christina for my first pick. Is that a good pick?
Was considering her like personality wise, but I think because she also compared herself to Sari, which I think is crazy shoes to try and fill. But I thought you might lean towards her because Oklahoma, Irish twins. You just watched Survivor Panama, so
I
I
just
think it
met
tracks
Suri.
for you.
I don't typically like when people say something like, I think she said she needs to align with somebody good with details because she's a big picture person. I'm sure that in an alliance you do need both, but like I feel like in Survivor you kind of need to be good at the details and thinking of like the little things that could happen when you vote a certain way or do a certain thing. So I'm usually a little bit hesitant when people say stuff like that. But I think she did seem cool, and I think that she seems like she'll get along with people on her tribe. So I think it's a pretty decent pick.
As long as I have the approval of Kerry and Alexis, I feel like I've done okay. So, and Clyde's not laughing at me. Neither is Abbey. So
you do care about our approval then?
a little bit.
I was pretty middle of the road when it came to Christina. She compared herself to Suri, which makes sense. She's a more like social style player. I was going to consider her with my second round pick, mainly because of the streak of moms in the new era. The moms continue to do well. The most recent one on 48 was Chrissy, who didn't get a lot of screen time, but she still made it to the post-merge. Based on the history and everything, I was going to consider Christina with the next pick. And we're just coming off Panama, so Suri is fresh on my mind. And she was just on Australia versus the world, too. So,
And she'll be on Survivor 50. So.
yeah. A lot of Suri content. We're getting either Suri or knockoff Suri, I guess, for the next 8 months.
With my next pick, because I only get one more pick, I really want white dreadlocks. But I also feel like there's a decent chance white dreadlocks falls to me at the end.
I'd be too sure about that.
I'm not going to fall for that. I'm going to take Alex Moore with my second pick. And here's why. Hopefully Alex Moore responds to my LinkedIn connection request from 20 minutes ago. And it says, yes, we have somebody in common. He lives here in DC. He's a communications director. We're the same age, and he's doing a lot more with his life than I am. But we're not going to think about that. He's a Yule head. Excellent. He's a Yule head. I love it. He's a softball player, playing in the Volo leagues here in DC, clearly. Honestly, he's a Yule head and he's from DC or lives in DC. That was kind of enough for me. I feel like he's a safe pick. I'm hoping he's better than John from Pod Save America, because that was obviously a disaster for me. I think I drafted him. So hopefully this guy does better. But
do you feel like you know a lot of Alex Moore type people in DC?
God, yeah. I mean, a friend of mine is a communications director on the Hill. I know a bunch of people in comms around the city. Like, my new goal is to get introduced to him because I don't think it would be hard. We're the same age. I'm assuming he's liberal, which means he lives in my same part of town. And, you know, he works on the Hill. So I'm pretty sure I could make a connection. He looks like somebody I would talk to at a party. I feel like there's a chance, there is a world where I run into this guy, which makes me want to draft him.
And will you tell him that he's on your fantasy team or no? Will you
I will tell him, hey, I picked you second in Fantasy Survivor.
You could tell him you picked him first. It's the, 1-2 turn.
He works on the Hill. He'll fact check me. He'll go watch this and go, you liar. Any other insights, or is that it? I'm happy to move on.
I have a question. It might be mostly aimed towards Tony because I feel like he likes to ship people on seasons of the show. Alex's boss said, maybe you'll find a wife out there. If you had to pick someone to ship Alex with, do you have anyone in mind?
This is my area of expertise. Now that I'm married, I think Shannon Fair. I think Shannon Fairweather. Yes, I think Shannon Fairweather would seem to be a good match.
It'd be a great rom-com. They're like opposite sides of the coin. She's the free spirit. He wears a suit to work in politics.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
find them on the island.
This is not an answer to your question, but there was a flicker of a moment where I saw Shannon and the white dreadlocks guy falling in love on the island, because I think that would be a good match.
What?
We do have a statement from his congresswoman on his going on Survivor. U.S. Representative Jan Schakowsky of Illinois' 9th District released the following statement. Apparently, surviving the Republican majority in Congress was not a strong enough test for Alex. I could not be prouder of him for being cast on the upcoming season of Survivor, a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. I remember well the first time I met Alex. It was 7 years ago at a local community event, and he was a young summer intern. He was dressed in a full suit and had a huge smile on his face. He looked so professional, I almost mistook him for a fellow government official. Since that summer day back in 2018, he has blossomed into one of my most trusted senior advisors. I'm confident that he brought the same heart, hustle, and strategy to the island that he brings to our office every day. Just remember, Alex, no matter what happened out there, Team Shakowski has our popcorn ready, and we'll be rooting for you all season long.
Okay, so Olivia's back on the clock now.
Do you want to give the spiel or do you want me to give the spiel?
You did really good last time.
Thank you very much. Okay, with our pick, we're going to be taking Juwan Pitts. The first thing that attracted us to Juwan is that his hometown is not only in New Jersey, but in Salem, New Jersey, and we live in Winston-Salem now, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. I think that if you're from New Jersey, then that's automatically a plus. I feel like everybody sleeps on the contestants from New Jersey. I think Tiff was from New Jersey, if I remember correctly, a couple seasons ago.
I did draft Bianca from New Jersey last season, and she got booted pretty quick, but good luck. I love a New Jersey contestant.
Exactly. But if Bianca didn't get booted pretty quick, I feel like she would have made it pretty far. I liked his comparison to Jesse, I think it was. I really don't have anything negative to say about Juwan. I think he's also on the same tribe as our other pick and Savannah, so maybe they'll all make one big happy alliance and go really far together.
Well, so I counter that. I really don't see them being good friends. Their personalities seem really different, but then we're hedging our bets because I think someone's going to have to go far with this girl you speak of. And so now we have two.
Are you just going to draft the entire red tribe? Is that your goal right now? We're going to hedge our bets with half the tribe.
Play. We don't even know what the other one is thinking, yet we still converge on the same player. Or maybe we just randomly pick a player and then we both come up with our own random justification for it. But alas.
He seems a lot calmer. Oh, we're in focus. He seems a lot calmer. And like that might be a nice balance, yeah.
I don't know if he'll align with Savannah or anyone because, you know, in his video he says that he's sweating so much and it's day 0 and he smells horrible. I'm not sure anyone will want to work with Stinky, but we'll see. I also had a point on his bio that I was like, okay. He said, for what is something you wouldn't know from looking at me, he said, my hometown is right next to a power plant. Sure.
New Jersey does have the highest concentration of Superfund sites in the country, so more likely than not, your home is within a stone's throw of a current power plant or a previous manufacturing plant.
Also, a lot of people on this show have to smell. Self-aware.
And like, quick question, if you describe yourself as formless, is that good or bad?
What does that mean?
Bad.
Okay, he described himself as formless.
That means you're like Ditto, the Pokemon, where you're just a jelly.
He's flexible and agile, and you go with
like
the
our
flow.
other person, because it's like,
They'll morph together.
yeah, I'm liking this.
Clyde, don't look so disappointed in us.
Like Rizzo's on the red tribe. I have a rooting interest in that group, but now I want to root for them less and less the more contestants you guys are picking from them. I'll say with Juwan, I think he is a locked ally on that tribe. He's a video editor. You also have Nate in that group, who's a 47-year-old film producer. So they're both in the entertainment industry. Nate's got 20 years on him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Juwan looks at Nate kind of as something he aspires to be one day, because Nate's very established in his field. In Juwan's video, there's a little segment of him editing at a computer, and he's wearing a sick SpongeBob and Patrick hoodie. So I feel like if I was on this season, the two people I would want to work with the most would be, Shannon, number one, then Rizzo, and then Juwan. So I have to respect that part of your team. Andy had a great player comparison. You mentioned Jesse. He also gave a shout out to Sean Rector, who was in season 4. So it's rare that you hear someone go back to those very early seasons that isn't a big name like a Boston Rob. So I think that Juwan knows his stuff.
Clyde, is that you?
Yeah, I think it's me. Do I take another person from the red tribe and we'll just wipe that
Do it.
clear at the
Do
beginning?
it. Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to take anyone else from the red tribe because my theory now, and this is
we're in an alliance. Come on.
it would be like we're in an alliance, but my worry now is that if Savannah and Rizzo do well in that tribe, that means there's other people who are going to do poorly, and I don't want to hedge my bets with the other members. So I'm pivoting off the red tribe for the rest of the draft unless I have no other option. I could go with Matt just to mess with Jack at this point, but I think I could get Matt in the third round. I think it's too early to take the swing at him now. So instead, I'm going to go with the other Sophie, Sophie IE. Let me think. I think this Sophie was the one that was originally an alternate. So, okay, I'm seeing it now. Sophie was an alternate back on Survivor 47, and she was just brought back for this season. Scratch that. She was an alternate on Survivor 48. Sage was an alternate on Survivor 47, and then you have two more alternates here in Jason and MC. So there's 4 people on this cast who at one point in Survivor were an alternate on some season, and I think that could work out well for Sophie. Other positives I have with her is that she's been a fan since she was 9 years old watching Survivor All-Stars. A surprising fact is that she's handy, so she's not going to be lackluster in terms of camp life. I don't think she'll go out early because of that. She's clearly a fan of the show. I don't want to take someone from the red tribe, and I think of the people on that yellow tribe, I feel the best about her.
I think she said that she played like family Survivor games at Christmas, which I kind of hope they like somehow show a clip of that in the show.
I feel like this isn't a great sign for the season that we are this neutral on so many players in the second round of the draft.
Well, I think the second round's the lull of the draft. Like the first round, you have all the highlights. The third round, it's the reactions. The second round's the midsection of the pod.
Who would have thought that Shannon would have gone in the first round? I'm scrolling through this list again, and oh my god, it's an essay.
All the same people that would have thought Kane would have been picked with the second pick that one year.
I forgot that he was a first round pick.
He was a first. Oh my god!
Did
You guys also picked Jelinski in the first round.
We don't need to talk about that. I'm happy You know what's funny is when I looked at Rizzo, the one Clyde that you picked, I was like, oh, he gives me Jelinski vibes.
No, don't you dare say that. That's so mean.
That's a grave insult. All right, Abby?
Okay, so out of everyone that's left, there's 2 people I'm choosing between. One of them is from the red tribe, and the other one's on the yellow tribe. And I'm going to go with the yellow tribe for this one. And out of everyone that's left, this one's not too bad, but also not too great. Like I said, I don't really like this cast that much. So I'm going to pick MC. I really don't like that she is a new fan. She said she only binge watched half the seasons. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing so you don't have like too much Survivor in your head when you go to play. And she hopes to play like D. And I also hope she plays like D and not like Tiff, because D actually won and D was a boss. And her one pet peeve where she said bullies are whack, that I don't know, who says bullies are whack? That's a weird thing to say. And yeah, that's it.
I think Abby's pro bully.
What?
I think Abby's pro bully.
I'm a resident hater, okay?
She is.
I'll say it. Yeah.
Wait,
that's
so
it.
she's seen half the seasons? I thought
Yeah,
she
she
only
said she
watched
binge-watched-
47 for some reason.
Yeah, she watched 47 first, and then she binge watched half the seasons, and now here she is.
Oh, okay. I thought she had only seen 47. So in my mind, MC thought that Andy was like the greatest strategic player in the history of the show.
Dear God.
I mean, there's a chance, right? If she watched the wrong 22 seasons or whatever, right? 24. Can't do math. She could think that, right? If she watched like the first 5 seasons and then a bunch of the bad ones in the middle, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't seen half of Survivor. I like this pick. I was high on MC. I feel like MC is somebody where if I had watched the video interviews, just from there's a couple little comments in her written interview where I'm like, I think she's got some charisma. She works in sales. Sometimes with the videos, either I'm immediately sold on somebody or I'm immediately out, and I feel like I would have been sold on her.
I think she's a really good pick. She seems physically strong, so I don't think she'll be an early vote out. And also, I'm pretty certain she's going to align with Christina. They have so many similarities. Their bios read, like, exactly the same. I had to go back and be like, am I reading the right bio? Am I reading the same one? Because they both said they hate bullies, which was really random. They're also both from Texas. They don't both live there now, but I don't know. They just seemed like they would mesh well together. They both seem social. I think that they're probably going to end up working together, and I think that I'm honestly kind of sad that I didn't get to pick her, so I think it was a good pick.
Kerry?
I'm kind of like between a few people. I think I'm in a similar boat as some others on here. Like, just kind of meh. Like, no one is like jumping out to me. But I feel like I felt like that last draft too, and we got some good characters. I think I'm going to go and draft Kimberly or Annie. What I wrote from her video, running biomechanics company, she's a musician, and I wrote in quotes, "screw this lady." And I think that led into live your best life. So yeah, I'm gonna lock in my pick for Annie. I think she's older also. I don't know. I feel like I haven't really had an older player. I mean, I think she's like not even 50, but yeah, we'll see.
I named my fantasy draft after her. What was the name of her band? No, I think she's a great pick. I named my fantasy team Trashy Annie because that is the name of her band. I did actually look up her music this time, and it's kind of insane. It's so funny. She's wearing like a sparkly pink bra and a tutu in one of the videos on Spotify. I think she seems great. She seemed so funny to me. She got the pink hair, the band, and also apparently multiple companies, right? Didn't she say that?
Yeah, I think
or
she's
a
some
company.
kind of
She's a
businesswoman.
CEO. And also one of the words she described herself as was wrecking ball, which was interesting. I thought she seemed awesome.
I do want to read a little bit of her interview here. Unlike the dumb 80s game where getting married and having kids define success, Survivor is the true game of life. It sums up every type of challenge in 26 days. Relationships form and dissolve. People get hurt mentally and physically. We learn to make do with what we can build. I can't decide if that's the bleakest outlook on life or if it's kind of beautiful and uplifting, and I think it's the latter. Like, as I'm reading it over and over, it's beautiful.
I think it might align with my first round pick who missed the birth of his child for the game. So I'm just saying I'm drafting a really dedicated team out here who puts Survivor above all else.
Gotta listen to this music.
Yeah, what kind of music is it? What does she make?
Whoa, the Instagram thumbnails are crazy.
Yeah,
He has a single called Crazy Bitch. That was the first one that came out.
Parentheses, dirty.
Watching the videos on silent is an experience.
I wrote down that she reminds me a lot of Debbie from Survivor Korong and then Survivor Game Changers. She's someone that has a ton of different jobs, a ton of different side hustles. I wouldn't be surprised every time she gives a confessional, they swap out her occupation because it just feels like she does a lot. She also wears a necklace every day that says boss on it. I don't know if she's going to wear that into the game itself. I feel like you're kind of setting yourself up for a particular perception when you do that, but we'll see.
Was it her who was like, oh, I have this necklace, but I can't bring it into the game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so she's not bringing it in.
Sadly.
Okay. Maybe it'll be in her back pocket, and that'll be her big reveal at the final tribal. Rizzo will say he's Riz God. Annie will take out the necklace. It's going to be insane.
I think at the very least she will get a lot of draft points. Like, I think she'll be a character.
It drives me nuts when people write the wrong name down, right? Or they, misspell the name on the vote slip. And if she's got 6 different names, that could be really great. All right, we're back to the top of the order here, Alexis.
Okay. The double draft pick is terrifying to me, but I think I'm going to go with Steven Ram. I'm going to full send on another character since I couldn't choose Annie. I thought that he seemed so funny. He said, I don't know if it was his video or his bio, but he said I guess it was his bio. He said his hobby is shouting at the moon to assert dominance. I almost made that my draft team name. So I'll still get one. It's okay. I don't know. He seemed like a little weird, but like funny weird. I think that he'll still get along well with people. He seems really smart. He is literally a rocket scientist. And also, he said he grew up with undiagnosed hearing loss, which turned him into a great listener because he had to concentrate hard, and I do actually think that would be really helpful. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he seemed cool. Oh, and he named his golden retriever Rupert after Rupert from Survivor. Amazing. Love it.
I like that he enjoys spicy foods, but that surprises people because he looks like someone who prefers saltine crackers and a glass of milk. That just reminds me of when Clyde used to live in San Francisco and the stories I would hear about Clyde's life out there. I do think it's a red flag that he wants to own land on the moon. Use your skills for good and not move to the moon. But that's just me being picky.
I wrote down that Steven reminds me a lot of Carson 10 years in the future. I think if Carson comes back on like Survivor 70, he's basically Steven at that point. Throughout his entire written bio, he beats that drum over and over again saying, I'm a rocket scientist. I don't think you can get through a single section of it without him bringing it up in some way, which makes sense. That is a flex, but he does mention it a lot. For his side hobbies, he says, quote, when I'm not working on technologies to pioneer the frontiers of Moon and Mars, I'm hustling as a musician. Like, you can just say you're a musician. I don't hate the pick. He was in the middle of my personal rankings.
I hate him now.
Alexis, I thought this was going to be your number 17 just because of the Carson vibes I got.
I liked Carson in his season. I actually did hate him originally, though. I think I put him really low on the draft. But, like, I ended up liking him, so I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think he would be cool. Also, I feel like there were so many people in this season that I don't think they're going to be that much of a character. And I know that we get points for that, too. So I'm trying to draft some character into my thing.
And I'll also say, like, Jack has clouded our judgment. Like, Jack is so anti-Carson. Like, Carson was a really good player on Survivor 44.
Carson is one of the most evil players we have ever covered.
He's legit
a horrible person.
Jack,
He's
you own a
fire-making challenge away from winning that
what
season.
Do you mean?
Alexis, who is your second pick?
Okay.
Or your final pick, actually.
Yeah,
Jeez.
My final pick, I'm going to choose Jeremiah. I think that he has a built-in alliance with the other Canadian on his tribe, 2 Canadians. He said he wants to align with a Gemini. I don't think that'll work out for him because I actually did go through his tribe and see what their horoscope or whatever were, so that I saw there's no Geminis. However, he has a couple Aquariuses that he might like, so I think that he's set up for success.
Can you translate that to ignorant people?
I don't
like
actually
me?
know anything. I literally typed in what is similar to a Gemini, and it said Aquarius, and I was like, cool. So he's got Sophie and Annie, and I can see him actually getting along with both of them, so that was funny. He laughed really aggressively in this video, and I was like, it looks like he's in pain a little bit, but at least he's happy. So I'm glad to have him on my team.
Alexis, I just want to give you your flowers for doing the work to look up compatible star signs, but not what it means. That's amazing.
Well, hold on. Let's be clear. He's a Taurus. He said he wanted to work with a Gemini, and apparently they don't get along at all. So I don't even understand what his reasoning was, which is why I went with I'm gonna find what's closest to Gemini, because apparently that's not who he gets along with. So I don't get it. But
if there's a swap this season and he ends up on a tribe with Shannon, you know they're gonna link up.
Is she a Gemini, though?
But she's big on astrology.
It's absolutely in her article. Hold on. I'm finding it.
Virgo
Sun, Libra Moon, Gemini Rising.
When it comes to Jeremiah, I was mid on him throughout the video interview. I heard the laugh once, and he dropped a couple spots in my ranking. And then I heard the laugh again, and he dropped a couple more spots. I just don't know if I could handle it.
It is time, Kerry, for your final pick.
I'm kind of between a few people that I actually think I'd like. I'm going to rule out Nicole because my other 2 people are on the blue tribe, and I'm nervous to go all in on one tribe. But I love a good bagel, and she's from Philly. She lives in Philly. I think for my final pick, I'm going to take Jason. In my notes, I have smart because he went to UCLA for physics and math. He's just a little guy, I think he called himself, which I love saying that to dogs that I see on the street. So I love that energy. And then he also talked about how he lives in fear and he's always scared. I think he was also an alternate. Don't know if that'll be helpful. And now that I'm looking at some of his bio, I love his something we would never know from looking at you, that he's an incredibly aggressive driver. I don't think I'm an aggressive driver, but I learned how to drive in New Jersey, so some may say I am. So I like that. It's a power trip for him.
Sorry, just to clarify, did you like that he was always afraid of everything, or?
I don't know. I felt like it read not like endearing, but it read like this will be like a challenge. I don't know. I felt like when I was watching the video, I was like, wow, he's so brave. And now that I'm reading my notes, I'm like, why did I think this was important and notable? I think he just has that persona where he entranced me, and I hope he entrances everyone he talks to on the island.
That for you.
I don't think people should be living in fear, but I just thought it was notable. I would be scared too to go out onto that island. Like, I'd be terrified. So I think it's good to acknowledge that.
Like, you like
Yeah,
honesty.
I can appreciate the honesty of somebody admitting that they're afraid all the time.
Him living in fear and also saying LA traffic excites me is insane.
Wait, I just want to make sure we're not misquoting him. Does he specifically say he's living in fear, or is he just say he's generally scared?
Wrote scared / lives in fear.
I think he did say living in fear.
I think he actually did say that.
And he said he was scared
to go out here
multiple times.
Like, maybe he'll be the scared little boy on the tribe, and there's a couple parental figures there. Christine is there.
And his bio for why will you be the sole survivor is, I'm just a small little guy.
I fucking hate this so much.
He's 32. He's too old.
You know what? I didn't look at that. He's just a little guy. I don't know what you mean.
He has the hair of a Lego person. Also, like, that's hair that you could just go.
I mean, I wish I had that volume on my hair, but I don't. So
He says that he'll play the most like Rachel, but actually, based on what he wanted in an alliance partner, he seems like he'd play the most like Joe, because he said he values compromise in an alliance partner and someone who will be honest when a move helps individually but hurts the alliance. And I'm like, good luck with that. I'd like you want someone who won't want to work for themselves. That doesn't make any sense in this game to me. I did think that he had a couple of funny things that I liked in his bio too, though. Dance Dance Revolution fan. Hell yeah.
Who's next?
Me. It's my
Here we
final
go.
pick. I unfortunately need to pick a man. So, how many men are left? 1, 2.
2.
2. Okay, and one of them is absolutely dreadful. So, I'm picking the other one.
Don't touch him. I need him. Don't.
There are so many things I hate about that man, and I'll save it for when you pick him. So I'm picking Nate more, simply because he is not mad.
Jack, I heavily considered it, like not even to mess with you, like for real.
For real, for real.
I have a reason. I have some good reasons. If he does fall to me, we'll get into it. So
I'm picking Nate. Says he identifies, and we'll play like Earl Cole, and he was a pretty good. Wait, not going to spoil it for you, Jack.
I won't remember. It's okay.
You won't remember?
You're fine. He forgot the winner from a week ago. He's not going to remember this one.
So Earl Cole, he was a pretty good winner. I think he was he the first black winner, right, of Survivor? No, that was Giuseppe,
that's
my
Giuseppe.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to pick a man. He's the only one left that I don't hate, and he seemed okay. That's all I have to say.
He's super successful. He helped make the Captain America and Black Panther movies. So
sick.
That might work against him in a final tribal if he gets all the way there and the jury says, Nate, you don't need the money. We're going to give it to someone else instead. We're going to give it to Shannon instead because she needs to spend it on her rock collection.
Like, producers don't make that much money, right? Or do they?
But I think
Wait, is he a producer or just a straight producer?
I think executive. I don't know, actually. Maybe not. I think I just wrote Marvel producer. But I think people, like, if he tells people, I think there'll be hype around it and people will be suspicious. So I do wonder if he's going to reveal that.
Okay, he's an executive at Marvel. Yeah, he's doing well.
I think my main worry with Nate is I think he feels a little too level-headed. I think sometimes the people who are great at Survivor, like, they get a little bit of enjoyment out of the deception part of the show, and I don't really see that with Nate. One thing that he had in his written bio was he says, it's a game that requires lying, but we all don't need to be sociopaths about it. And maybe I'm just like bitter coming off of Joe in 48, but I don't want people that are going to go into the game and play super honorably. I like having contestants that almost enjoy the deceptive nature of it. So that held me back from him. And I can't do another person from the red tribe.
Oh, he has actually left Marvel to become independent, which does mean that he makes enough money to work for himself in Hollywood.
Okay.
He will be making Black Panther 3, though.
Is it me now?
Yeah. Don't do it, Clyde.
I'm not doing it. There was a person that was really high up in my rankings that I should have taken last round, and I misread them incorrectly, and I let them fall all the way here, and it worked out for me. But if that player was taken, I actually was going to take Matt. This is where I'm going to go with Nicole. I'm surprised that Nicole fell this late into the draft. I feel really good about her chances this season. Player comparison is Jam Jam. I do see some level of Jam Jam energy. I don't know if she's the same vibrant personality, but I do think she's someone that other people will get along with. My prediction for the Blue Tribe right now is I think it's going to be ruled by the girls and the gays. I think it's going to be led by that group, and you're going to have Jake and Sophie without the E on the outside of the whole thing. And she says that in her video, that she's like, there's a lot of like brawny straight guys here. So I think she's going to be gunning for Jake out of the gate, and I think she's going to win that battle. She also says that Survivor played a large role in her upbringing, and she has a memory of Wu taking Spencer's idol Clue and Kagyan. She's a fan of the show, so I'm happy with her. For a third-round pick, I feel like this is where we're really scraping at the bottom of the barrel, but I think Nicole is someone that could have went way earlier in the draft.
I really like her and I wanted to pick her, but like I said, I needed a man and someone not on the Blue Tribe because I already picked Sophie, but I would have picked her. She was my second pick on the Blue Tribe.
Yeah, she was high on my list as well. I love the thing about shipping New York water out to Ohio for bagels. Just seems like a good vibe. Like I am surprised she fell this far.
I was just going to say, I really liked her, but I fear she's going to be the first vote out on her tribe. Like, I want her to do well, but I didn't see her aligning with others, and I feel like they might try to vote her out early. So, I mean, I think she would do well if she made it far. It's funny, she said, like, the opposite of what I said I didn't like. She said she's good with numbers and the nitty-gritty details, so I do think she'd do well if she gets far. And I want to support someone living in Philly, of course, but I'm not sure.
I see her and Alex aligning immediately, actually. But maybe that's just my read on them.
Alexis, what about her makes you think that she's the first boot of the tribe? Because I think there's other personalities there that might rub other people the wrong way. Someone like Annie or Jeremiah, I could see getting on other people's nerves right out of the gate.
I mean, potentially. I just think that there's a lot of people on her tribe who are more physical, and they might see her as a weaker link. Because even Annie, I know she's old, but she seems like her company is a running company. And she said she was into mountain biking and multi-day adventure races. I just think that, like, there's a lot of people who are super, like, ready to go, and they might see her as a weaker link.
If you scroll to the bottom of the Entertainment Weekly article, there are 5 comments on this article, and 2 of them are hating on Nicole.
What?
So,
why?
Yeah, seriously.
I saw them get a lot of hate also for saying, why are there so many straight people here?
I thought that was funny.
I agree. I was
funny.
cracking up.
One of the comments is mad at her for hating the West Coast and says that kind of narrow-mindedness is part of the problem with our world today.
Not going to go that far, but that was the other thing that I was going to say, too. There's a lot of people who live in California on this season, it feels like, at least. Thankfully on her tribe, I think they were mostly West Coasters, but I was like, I don't know how that's going to go for you if you really don't vibe with West Coasters, because it seems like there's a lot of them.
I don't think there's any West Coasters on the Blue Tribe. There's 2 Canadians. Everyone else is East Coast, U.S., and then Annie's from
Oklahoma,
Texas. Who's up next then? Unless people have more things to say about my draft pick.
That was your pick? That's a good pick.
Thank you.
All right, speaking of good picks, Tony and Olivia, the last pick of the draft.
Well, I guess we all know there's not many options for us here. It's between Matt and Sage. And Jack, I hope you don't hate us for this, but I think we're gonna pick Matt. I'll keep our reasoning short because it seems like you all have a lot to say about him, so I'd be curious to hear what you all have to say. But he said maybe he can play a subservient role and later turn it on, similar to one of the other Survivor greats named Gabler, So maybe he'll channel his inner Gabler,
Tony loves Gabler.
who we also... Actually, I don't know if we had him on our fantasy team.
That was
Anyways,
before the
maybe-
fantasy era.
Yeah, maybe he'll channel his inner Gabler, and I think he'll also be maybe entertaining to root for at least. Maybe a high upside can get us some points, but that's about it for our analysis, unless Olivia wants to add anything.
I would just like to say, when you ask if it's a joint decision or one-sided, that this one was less than joint. But I think it'll be fun.
I asked Olivia, and she said you pick. So that's why it was less than joint. But anyway, we'll conclude with that one.
Okay, I've been betrayed. So making a mental note of that for next season.
Wait, but also last year we were last, and we no one let us use our mastermind skills.
Well, here's what I want to point out. Matt's pet peeve. Listening to someone incorporate texting shorthand into a verbal conversation. OMG, LOL. Okay? Now let's jump to Shannon Fairweather, who ends one of her things with LOL. You have picked two people who will hate each other.
They're hedging their bets.
Maybe that's genius, actually. That's a good point, Alexis.
Or maybe they'll fall in love.
Ooh.
Enemies to lovers.
Oh, I'm seething with jealousy. I am now checking to see how far apart he's traveled in Utah to see if this is Bruce 2.0 for you guys.
Didn't you have Bruce on your fantasy team?
I think you guys took him first.
Oh yeah, I
Me too.
forgot. Oh yeah.
We did,
And then-
Yeah, you guys had him on 45. No, I think Maddie had him on 44, and then Jack wanted him on 45, and Olivia stabbed you in the back. This seems to be a recurring
Oh my
trend with these fantasy drafts. Jack wants the dad on his team, and Olivia says no.
I will give him some credit here. He has traveled quite far. He does still live in Utah where he grew up, but he was born near Salt Lake City, and now he lives as close to Vegas as you can live while still being in Utah. So that's kind of wild. I like this pick from a fantasy strategy point of view. My little spiel for him was basically going to be Matt's going to get some screen time. This guy seems to have the kind of personality that you want to watch, good or bad. Like he's a good TV pick. I don't know if he's a good Survivor pick, but I don't know how much that matters for fantasy, right? Confessionals do a lot. Votes do a lot. I don't know. I think it's a really good pick. Obviously, it's near the end for some reason. But does somebody have something to say against Matt?
This
He
is Abbey.
identifies with Joe Anglim. And I hope that's the TV character Joe Anglim and not real life Joe Anglim. And
Who is that?
Yeah.
You'll meet him eventually. Joe Anglim is known as one of the biggest challenge beasts in the history of the show. But off the show, he's like a QAnon supporter. So I'm assuming Matt does not know that about Joe. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt there. But you go ahead, Abby. What else do you not like about him?
I don't know. I just really do not like him.
I don't think I cared that much for him in the video until he mentioned that he was an airport ramp agent, and I just thought the strength training that comes from that will probably be beneficial. Now that I'm also reading Why Do You Want to Be Part of Survivor, he says 26 days in Fiji will be nice, $1 million will be nice, but if you're anything like me, which sometimes I am, and you have a burning desire to cling to a telephone pole in your underwear on national television, Survivor is the only way you're going to get that done.
I will say but if you are anything like me, which sometimes I am, feels like some copy editor at Entertainment Weekly was like, do we have to put this in verbatim? This is a tough read.
What's one life experience question? And he says, does my childhood count as an experience? Is also just kind of sassy for no reason.
Yeah. What I will say to counter it, though, is, like, his responses seem, like, very, very extra and, like, just kind of needing attention and all this stuff. But then he goes on to talk about his wife, who's a hospice nurse, which inherently feels like you can't be married to someone who's a hospice nurse and then be always cracking jokes like this at home. You'd probably, like, it just, like, you know what I mean? So I wonder if there's an element of, like, when you're getting interviewed to do these things before you really do it, and you're one way, and then what happens when you're actually in a group of people and you have someone who's perpetually afraid, and like maybe like I have hope that we can maybe see better like different sides instead of just like I hate LOL. So I think that the fact that that answer was so normal compared to the other ones shows that some of this might just be for like us to get really nice, like whatever they're called, confessionals.
I agree with what you said about Matt. I don't think he exits this season quietly. If he goes out, he's going to be making a lot of ruckus along the way. So, granted, it's the very end of the draft. You just got to get points where you can. And I like the fact that he's an airport ramp agent. We get so many white-collar workers on these casts. He feels like a breath of fresh air from an occupation perspective. I think I'll remember him a lot more than a lot of the business gurus that we get on this cast.
Can I throw out, when Matt gets voted off, he's absolutely going to go like and slap his knees as he gets up. And he's going to go, well, time for me to go. He's going to do like some classic Midwestern dad exit like that. I totally see that coming.
Or if he plays an idol correctly, he plays it with Jeff, goes back to his seat and sits down. Right?
Yeah. All right. Last one. I'm going to draft Sage Aarons-Nichols. I didn't think that she would fall to me because she just seemed kind of like a middle of the road player based on her written interview. We've never heard from Alexis about her number 17. So I do feel as though there is a lurking story there that I don't know about yet.
There is.
She's a social worker. She describes herself as wacky. She loves to torture herself. Wait. Oh, God. She's a twin, not an Irish twin, so red flag. She doesn't like the patriarchy, which is valid. She's a veteran. Alexis, please, what's wrong with her? What don't I know right now?
Collects blackhead pimples in a jar?
That was crazy.
That's not real,
Get
right?
her away from me. I don't want that.
Was this your 17th?
Oh.
Yeah. I had her as my 18, but then I really didn't like Shannon, so then I put her below. But like collects blackhead pimples in a jar. I don't normally like see one thing and I'm immediately like no, but she said that and I was like no. And also she just seems very odd in her video, and I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go.
She did kick off her video with she collects pimples in jars. Putting that aside, I think
No, you can't. You can't.
I have to, or I won't sleep. I don't know. I just assume that the military would have some kind of athletic training component that will be helpful for this. I think she's a good character. Like, yeah, she's a wacky personality, but sometimes those end up doing well on the show. Yeah, I'm going to say I kind of liked her.
This is the worst person I've ever had fall to me in a draft in anything. I want to cut her. I don't care if she makes it to the final 3. This jar thing is going to throw off my entire season.
Worse than Carson?
Carson was the first overall pick.
No,
Jack
it's not
took him
worse
with the
than
101.
Carson.
He was the first overall pick of our first draft.
Carson betrayed me, and I'll never forget it. The
he was
one
not
thing I will
forced into
say,
taking Carson.
how full? Like, this is my horrible question: is how full is the jar before she throws it out? Like,
You don't throw it out, you
it's gonna-
collect them.
it's gonna take
Yeah.
forever to fill up.
Yeah, she collects them.
Well,
Keeps
I
it.
don't think it's a mason jar. I think it's a substantial industrial jar.
It's on
and
her
a vat.
shelf.
It's on her. Does she say that? To find a silver lining, drafting her did get me somebody on each tribe, which I feel like that's probably a good thing to do. But oh God, this is what a note to end the draft on. Now I
Yeah.
see why she fell. Now, thank you for your service, Sage, but oh God, I'm terrified of you now.
And who knows, Jack,
Oh.
like, if production brings back the luxury items and every contestant gets to bring one thing from home, that jar might make an appearance.
Her emotional support pimple jar.
This feels like they're asking for, instead of the Charmin tea house, the like Clearasil pimple room or something. Like, well,
Concerned with people not being able to like wash their face as well, that like she'll just like be in challenges and see that people have blackheads and be like, I gotta get them.
Yeah, they could become a form of currency on the island. What are you willing to trade me? How many blackheads is my vote worth?
To end on a different note than the pimples, how is everybody feeling about this season? I feel like every time we do one of these drafts, we go, eh. Is anyone feeling better than, eh?
I feel better than 48. I feel better than last season. I feel like it's a low bar to jump, but I think we can do it.
I think I feel worse than 48.
Yeah, I mean, Teeny, Kyle, Sam, there were some, I'm naming people from 48, right?
Both of those 47. All three of them actually 47. But it was
Kyle
a great
was
attempt,
48.
Jack.
Wait, Kyle was 48?
Oh, I thought you meant Kyle as in, there was also a Kyle in 47.
Like Kyle and Camilla.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about super tall Kyle that always
That's
talked about
because
his
he wanted
family.
to fall in love. Despite
No, I get.
Yeah, even though he had a family, you wanted him to
Yeah.
fall in love. Yeah.
Who is he going to fall in love with again?
nobody, because he has a wife and family.
No, but I had a prediction. I'll check up on them. I bet they're together now.
Yeah, circle back.
I think it was like Caroline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks so much for listening. Stay tuned to Survivor Analytics. Jack and I will be here every week talking about the show. We got to get through another season until we get to 50. And then for 50, we'll have a great draft. Depending on how everything works out, I pitched this idea in the past. I want to have the first round just be an inheritance round where we all take a player that we've drafted in a previous season. I don't know if that would work because I'm not sure if Olivia has a contestant that qualifies, but we'll figure it out when we get there. So thanks so much for listening.
Shannon qualifies for season 50?
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.